All right, so we're doing this thing here at church at First Baptist Mount Carmel called Jesus Changed My Life, and we're asking our church members to post these videos with the hashtag Jesus Changed My Life. And so I was going to do mine. I have some notes here so I don't get off track, because if you know me, I tend to ramble, and if I don't go ahead and start, I'm going to ramble and get this thing taken probably 5-10 minutes. So I'm just going to go through this pretty briefly with you. I grew up in a church family. We always went to church. We were there every Sunday. My mom was in a lot of committees. I always remember church being the thing that we did. We went to VBS. I even did all the Sunday school classes and everything. But at 13 years old, we went to this dramatic play thing at another church called Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames, and what that was a kind of a scary at a heaven type of dramatic enactment, and it was very much that. It very much did that. It very much tried to scare you into making a decision, which is not how it works. But that night I made a profession of faith and got baptized at my church there at First General Baptist in McLeansboro, and I knew what to say. I knew the answers that were needed whenever the questions were asked, and I knew when to say those answers. But I realized later that that was an emotional response and not a change of heart. There was no actual change that happened. It was just my wanting to get out of hell free card. And so I'm not sure, exactly when my actual conversion happened, but in my early to mid 20s, I would say between 20 and 23, I became very aware of the fact that I was a sinner, and aware of the fact that the sin in my life is what separated me from God, and that I had no change previously. Whenever I said I made a statement of faith, I made a profession of faith. And so throughout that time, I had some friends that I had talked to, and some events in my life that just they pushed me closer to God. And so over the course of probably a year and a half, I had my conversion experience, and I can't pinpoint the day or the minute or the hour. Many people can do that. They've had a hard upbringing, or they've had a big event in their life that turned them towards Christ. But I didn't have that. So I had this kind of cookie cutter experience growing up, and didn't really have any major massive conversion overnight like you hear sometimes. And mine was kind of over the course of a year and a half, where I became aware of my sin nature, became aware of my turning from God, my kind of walking away from Him, and became aware of the fact that the only way that I was ever going to be reconciled to Him was to allow Christ to be Lord of my life, and to follow Him, and to go forward in that life and have that change of heart, which only He can elicit in us, and only He can do that. Only God can turn you towards Himself. So I don't have a exciting story. That's pretty much it. I grew up in the church. I, at a young age, made a profession of faith that was very, kind of what you hear a lot of these days, whereas people, they say they're Christian, but they don't have a change of heart. They don't have that change of mind, to have a mind that is like Christ. And so then later on in life, I became aware of my sin nature, and God's been working on me ever since. And that's not to say that I'm perfect, because I mess up every single day. I will continue to mess up every single day, but hopefully by God's grace I will mess up less and less. But the nice thing is that through Christ's death on the cross, and through His sacrifice to reconcile us to God, the Father sees us as His righteousness. And so I am blessed, I'm humbled to be able to call myself a co-heir with Christ, but also the fact that I'm very undeserving of that, and because I mess up every day, I see who I am in light of my sin, but also I see myself as blessed and honored because I get to be called one with Christ. So I hope that wasn't too jumbly, because I started rambling. Like I said, I wasn't going to, but God bless.